Greetings to Gambians, greetings to South Africans, wherever you are under the sound of my voice. Let me say welcome to another brand new edition of the program called The Conversation that comes away on Symbian's VIP Magazine, VIP TV here in the Republic of the Gambia. And for today's edition of The Conversation, I'm going to speak to you on what I call my advice to the masses. And when I say my advice to the masses, I'm talking about the Gambian populace. The Gambian populace. I'm talking to the Gambian people today. Not the rest of the continent, but the Gambian people here. But quickly, before I go further with this message, I have a very powerful music that I want you to listen to just before I kick start. Take it away. Drop it for the audience.
Let's make this official.
Let's make this official.
Let nobody tear us apart. This is something original.
Don't allow anybody to tear you guys apart because it's original, right?
This thing's supernatural.
It's supernatural, man.
Feel love I like to ta-na-na-na. Special feeling spiritual. Yeah. This love to make me shine.
Hope you love the song.
Baby,
got to entertain a bit before I pass the message across that I have for the Gambian people.
Oh, baby, now you did my corner. This love to make me shine. I'm a little baby, marama. Even when my brain just stay down. Oh, baby, now you did my corner. You see this boy here. Now God you give to me.
That's beautiful. Drop it here. Drop it here quickly. And quickly before I proceed with the message I have for the Gambian people, I want to say to you, this edition of The Conversation is proudly sponsored by the Supersonic Money Transfer Service, which remains the best remittance service provider, not only in the Gambia, but the rest of the continent by extension. We're sending and receiving money from Europe, Canada, United States, or should I say anywhere around the world, to this country, the Gambia, becomes quite too easier. It is safe, it is reliable, it is convenient. It's very vital that you tap into this fabulous opportunity by going straight to your Google Play Store and download the Supersonic app, or better say your App Store and just download the Supersonic app and have an opportunity to tap into the fabulous chances that this remittance service provider actually has to offer you, the Gambian people. And between now and the month of October, whatever the amount that you receive here in the Gambia, you stand a chance of winning a bag of rice. Limited bags of rice are there. So you got your brothers in Europe, anywhere in the United States or Canada or Switzerland, anywhere in Europe whatsoever. Talk to them to do you some transfers so that you stand a chance to win a bag of rice from the Supersonic Money Transfer Service. Just in case you want more information about the Supersonic Money Transfer Service that remains the best remittance service provider in the Gambia, by extension the rest of the continent, you can go to the website, which remains www.supersonics.co.uk, so that you can have an opportunity to know the fabulous services they offer you when it comes to remittance provision. Okay, quickly, this is my advice to the Gambian people, which I says is proudly sponsored by the Supersonic Money Transfer Service in the Gambia, which remains the best remittance service provider, not only in this country, but the rest of the continent. Come 2021, this nation, the Gambia, heads to a general and presidential elections. You will be taxed with the responsibility of choosing another leader that would be charged with the responsibility of steering the affairs of this nation for the next 5 years. So you, the masses, you have a responsibility when it comes to your choice-making skill. The first responsibility you ought to know is that your single vote is very, very vital. Your lone vote, that one vote, is very, very important. Don't stay in your homes. Leave your homes and go and cast your vote come 2021. Because a singular vote has the possibility of transforming this country. Your singular vote has the possibility of changing the negative narrative of this country. Your singular vote has the possibility of turning this country into the kind of Gambia you've all prayed and wished for. And I stand here today in a Pan-African spirit, counting myself as one of you, even though I was born and brought up in Mama, Liberia, but I count myself as a continental property, hence I am a Gambian. So that I say to us, the masses, going into the 2021 elections, we have a responsibility. After you will have known how vital your one vote is, the next thing you need to understand is that who is the candidate that deserves my single vote? Try to get historical context of that very candidate. Where are they from? What is the track record? How contributory has that candidate been in the lives of those that live around him? Because Chino Achebe says in literature that a chick, that is the baby chicken, a chick that will grow into a cock can be known at the very day it hatches on eggs. So if he is a leader that is going to transform this country, to what extent has he been able to transform his community where he comes from? If he's a leader that is going to implement policies that have the possibility of changing the negative narrative of this country, the Gambia, how has he been able to enact laws in his community that have the possibility of changing the negative narrative of his very community where he resides, where he or she resides? So going forward, try to understand the track records of the candidate before you vote. Who is he? Is he honest? Is he sound-minded to steady the affairs of this nation, the Gambia, mainland Africa's smallest country? Does he have a record charisma in terms of the character, the competence, and the capacity to lead the Gambian people for the next 5 years? Because any leader that is given a mantle of authority to steer the affairs of this country, he either takes this nation forward or backward, if not make it stagnant. Do you see how important your singular vote is? So anybody you cast a vote for, is either he takes this nation to higher heights, or he drags it back to the unknown level, or keeps it stagnant. So your responsibility is to scrutinize all politicians, putting aside your tribal differences, putting aside your religious differences, putting aside your cultural differences, your regional differences, and hold together for national development. What is a national development? Ensuring that the Gambia are sent to the level where she can compete with other civilizations outside its shores. Scrutinize your candidate. Ensure that the vote goes to someone based on their conscience, that person deserves it. You are not doing good for the person, but you're doing good for yourself, because any candidate that you vote to become the president of this country, it's either he changes this country for the better, or he changes it for the worst, or he keeps it stagnant. Let me use a he or she, because we have female presidential candidates coming up now. Let me do justice to the rest of the people. After you will have known the track records of that candidate, the next thing is to go to the party manifesto. It must not only be beautiful, but it must be in conformity with the contemporary problems that Gambians face. I repeat, after you will have had what I call historical view of the candidate, their track records, if they are honest, if they have the character, the competence, and the capacity, which remains the 3 C's in leadership: character, competence, and capacity. Then you go to their party manifesto, and you ask yourself this question: does the party's manifesto conforms with the current reality of the Gambian society? Does the party manifesto aligns with the crying, the yearnings, and aspirations of the Gambian people? Does it answer the questions the Gambian people are asking? Does it answer the question of our infrastructure? Does it answer the question of revamping or revitalizing the educational system of this country? Does it answer the question of the health sector that is dilapidating on a daily basis? Does it answer the question of our youth unemployment in this country? Does it answer the question of a national unison and the spirit of oneness? Does it answer that? Does it answer the question of the already existing peace in this country? Does it answer the growing concerns of the Gambian people? If the party's manifesto does not answer these questions, even though you guys come from the same village, even though you guys come from the same region, even though you guys attend the same mosque to pray, or go to the same church to pray, even though you attended the same school, what is crucial to note is that he or she does not have what it takes to answer the Gambian people's concerns. So that party must be left out. That party must not be given consideration to lead the affairs of this country. And after you will have scrutinized the manifesto of that very political party, The next thing you need to know is, what is the team that the party surrounds herself with? Is the party surrounded with intelligentsia? Let me sip a little bit of water. Is the party surrounded with intelligentsia? When I said intelligentsia, think tank. People with the requisite academic expertise, people with the requisite economic expertise, people with the requisite infrastructural expertise, people with the requisite educational expertise, people with the requisite different areas. Do they have what it takes? Do they have a massive head on their shoulders? Because St. Thomas Aquinas in philosophy, he says, the actual height of a man is not from the head to the toe. The actual height of a man is from the neck to the head here, which means your brain is your height. How high your reasoning power is makes you a taller man. How limited your reasoning power is makes you a shorter man. So ask yourself a question. Does the party surround herself with intelligentsia, with people who have the requisite skills, the quality and ability to steer the affairs of this nation for the next 5 years? Ask yourself that question. Then ask yourself the question, this question. Is the party projecting the future? Is the party looking at the Gambia in the next 25 years or 30 years to come, even though they won't be in power? What are the policies they're going to put in place to ensure that the future becomes very brighter for succeeding leaders that come after them? You have to ask yourself this question. So what I am saying in essence is that I am challenging you, the masses. I am challenging you under the sound of my voice. Listen to me very well. That come 2021, no sentiment must be attached at the ballot box. No sentiments, no religious sentiments. They are not going to use the Holy Quran to lead you. They are going to use the Constitution. They are not going to use the Holy Bible to lead you. They are going to use the national doctrine, which remains the Constitution of the state. So vote your conscience. Vote the Gambia. The Gambia is bigger than a bag of rice. The Gambia is bigger than a bag of onion. It's bigger than a carton of attire or sugar or whatever, fruits or whatever foodstuff. Vote your conscience. Vote the future of your children. Vote your own future. Vote the safety, the security, the peace and stability, the economic growth of this country. That is the reason why you have a responsibility to scrutinize the NPP of incumbent Adama Barrow. You have a responsibility to scrutinize the Citizen Alliance of Dr. Ismail Assise. You have a responsibility to scrutinize the Doy's political party of Halifa Saleh. You have a responsibility to scrutinize the PPP of Ms. Sanjay. You have a responsibility to scrutinize the GMC, that's the Gambia Moral Congress of my party, Honorable. You have a responsibility of the GDC to scrutinize it, of Mama Kande. You have a responsibility to scrutinize all of the political parties in this country. The independent candidate for Mary Stock, you have a responsibility to scrutinize them to the zenith to ensure that they match what it takes to give them the amount of authority to steer the affairs of this country for the next 5 years. Remember, it's about the future of your children, it's about the future of your country, it's about the future of this nation, the Gambia. If it is about all of these things, then vote your conscience. Keep the bag of rice out. Keep religion out. Keep your community, regional life or friendship out. And I says this edition of the conversation is proudly sponsored by the Supersonic Money Transfer Service, which remains the best remittance service provider, not only in this country, but the rest of the African continent. It's been with me, Thony Mikel, who is tackling the responsibility of inspiring and motivating the current generation of young Africans in the actualization of their respective dreams, and preaching a message of peace and national unity, as well as revitalizing the Africanization policy that speaks about good governance, social justice, democracy, human rights, and most importantly, the African unity. Salute to you wherever you are under the sound of my voice, and most importantly, vote your conscience come 2021. If you like, follow us. Bye-bye.